All right, I have the honor to introduce Lashundra Michelle. She is going to talk about tax tips to write off in 2024. First off, we want to thank you very much for being one of the event sponsors to help with the graphic design and the formatting of your workbooks that you have today. And Lashundra Michelle is a CPA. She has been in the business for 8 years. Her company, Credit Conscious Network, helps people to reduce debt and build generational wealth. If she's not working on her business, she loves learning Spanish and traveling. One of her recent travels was to El Salvador, and one of her favorite activities in Athens is to run the Half 5K. Her favorite book is the Bible and all of life's principles that it shares, and when it comes to the Rise and Shine group, she loves that it emphasizes shifting mindsets because we are what we think. Today, Michelle will share with everyone her tax tips to write off in 2024 with a session title, Tax, It's Like Heaven.
Thank you. Well, first I want to say, Miss Lita, there should be a special tax write-off for you since you donated a kidney. I'm serious. I got some calls coming up with the IRS. I'm going to talk to them about that. And just a little bit about me. My name is Lashundra Michelle Bedell, but my clients call me Michelle. I graduated from the University of Georgia, go Dogs, in 2019. And one of my professors is here, Dr. Whipple, who's the husband of Miss Amy. So thank you for introducing us. This is Life Full Circle. So I have my own tax firm, right? And I have thousands of clients. Bookkeeping, people filing a regular 1040, partnership returns, S-corp returns, everything. Okay, so let's talk today. My subject is tax. It's like heaven. And I know you guys are thinking, how is it like heaven? So let's talk about the heavenly structure. So I get the question, should I structure as a LLC, a S-corp, or a partnership? So by show of hands, who in here has a LLC? Okay, so actually I recommend the LLC, and I'll talk to you about that. But let's talk about partnerships and S-corps because they're called pass-through entities, meaning the income flow through to your personal tax return. So if you want to file a whole separate return away from your personal 1040, you will file a partnership return, which is the 1065, or the S-corp return, which is the 1120S. And that income will flow to your personal tax return through the Schedule K, the K1. And I'm sorry, I'm going to check it off because accountants, we're very meticulous. No lie, I was working on an S-corp return, and it took me 2 hours to figure out where was $2. 2 hours, okay. So all my LLCs, that is the gateway. And that's what I recommend because it's easy to form, only $100 through the Secretary of State, and it gives you that minimum protection. That minimal liability. Okay. And also you will file the LLC on your personal tax return on what's called the Schedule C. So everybody's heard of the Schedule C, right? Right. Okay. So this is very common among my entrepreneurs, my solopreneurs, the LLC. Okay, but I have a special recommendation. You structure as an LLC, but be taxed as an S-corp. Anybody heard of that? I want to be taxed as an S-corp? Okay, so you can do this by filling out Form 2553, but here's the caveat. You have to do this before you file your first tax return. You can't be in business for 3 years and then say, hey, I want to structure as an S-corp. So before you even start filing or before you even think about starting a business, say, hey, I want to be a LLC taxed as an S-corp. And as you can see in your pamphlet here, on a $50,000 profit, look how much this client saved. Now this is actual. So the diagram on the left, that's the LLC with the $50,000 profit. So you can see that this client had to pay $9,974 in taxes. But if they were taxed as the S-corp, look, they would have only had to pay $4,121. So there are tax savings. Who can guess why? No one probably knows, so let me tell you why. Because with the LLC, you have to pay self-employment taxes. Whereas with the S Corp, that income flows through, like I said, partnership income, pass-through entity, it flows through to your personal tax return at your individual tax rate. So this client's tax rate was like the 15%. So that's how they saved $5,853. Okay, so this is not in your notes. So for everybody that's not an entrepreneur, because I'm pretty sure some people just have a regular job, right? Where my regular 1040s, okay? Let's talk about how you can save in taxes. IRAs, who have an IRA in here? Anybody has a Roth IRA? Right, so the Roth IRA grows tax-free. So you can contribute to your IRA for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and pull it out tax-free. Okay, who have a SEP IRA? Okay, so these are deductible. So let's note a Roth IRA, you cannot deduct that on your taxes, but you can deduct the SEP, which is the self-employment pension plan. That's totally deductible. And also the self-directed IRA. Anybody heard of a self-directed? Where are my real estate agents at? So realtors tell your clients that they can buy properties and they can pass some of those tax savings off if they buy properties through a self-directed IRA. Okay, part 2, we got 10 minutes left. All right, if it's taxable, it's deductible, because believe you me, the IRS wants to tax every dollar. Who knows that? He or she wants to tax every dollar. So I want to make sure as your accountant, we can write off every dollar legally, because I don't look good in orange. And if you go to jail, I might write you, but I'm not visiting you. So we want to make sure it's legal. So Miss Amy has put on this great event. So what are some of the things that she can deduct? Food cost, supplies, materials, marketing, if she had to pay anybody, all deductible. Professional development, this is a big category. How many of you are going to attend lots of conferences this year? You absolutely can write them off. Okay, this is totally deductible. Who's going to write off the cost of this event? That $24, it adds up. Remember, we want to write off everything we can. All right, let's talk about some areas that can be tricky. The cell phone. Who has a business cell phone? Okay, so I actually recommend getting a separate cell phone for business for 2 reasons. We talked about that balance, and we want to make sure we're moving business to business and personal to personal. But if you have a cell phone and you're writing off the entire bill and you're using it for both business and personal, you have to allocate the 2, and that can get tricky. So I just recommend having a whole separate line for business. Your car payment. How many people have their car in their business name? Anybody? But there's still hope for you. All you have to do is lease the car to your business. That's right. Draw up a leasing agreement and make sure that the business pays that car note and it comes from the business bank account. We do not want to commingle funds. Who has a business bank account? All of my entrepreneurs, hopefully everybody's name went up. We definitely need a business bank account. And plus the IRS will tear you apart if they know that you are commingling. Even during the pandemic, when a lot of my colleagues were struggling, I did not face that. And I believe it's my partnership I know that it's my partnership with God. So pay your tithes. That's what I do. I actually tithe 20% of my income. I know the standard is 10%, but I tithe 20%. And as we rise and soar this year, I want us to make sure that we take God along with us and we're in partnership with God. And He will preserve your finances and create heaven all year long. All right. So for the last couple minutes, we have a table question. Are my books in order? Or do they look like this? Be honest, are my books in order? And how would my business benefit from having organized and accurate books? Whether you're a business owner or not, do I have a Roth IRA? Do I have a SEP IRA? Or do I have a self-directed IRA? Because we have to start planning for retirement as entrepreneurs because there is no matching. We don't have a company matching for us. We are the match. And call to action. I will finalize my 2023 books and take organized financials to my CPA, so they're not up at night with the shoebox. And for my non-business owners, check your W-4. So I want to see now who was listening, because they say taxes is boring. I have something. What year did I graduate from the University of Georgia? Okay, I'm just going to go to the first one right here. Here you go. A Chick-fil-A gift card. Okay. All right, for my non-realtors, what portion of the 1040 will you report your rental income? Schedule. I heard it. E, that's right. Thank you guys for listening. I have really enjoyed this conference.